You've seen Aaron a lot of times and a lot of these cold weather games. What's made him a good cold weather quarterback? Because you've seen a lot of guys really struggle with it over the years.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess from my perspective, he had 12 years into this thing before I ever got to be with him here. So I think his experience being here, playing in a lot of games, he knows how to handle it. And then obviously, he's super talented, so that part of it helps. The large hand size, all that stuff. I think all those are really important factors. And then, like I said, but I think you lean on that experience of playing in this weather and this type of environment more than anything. And he has obviously 17 years of it now. So,
Jason Wilde.
Hey, Luke, how are you today?
I'm good, buddy. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. So, speaking of all that experience with Aaron, yes, he was here a long time before you got here, but no one's been around him now on this staff as long as you have. Everybody wants to be able to say, "Well, this is the best he's ever played," right? We were here in 14 when he was so good and played with the torn calf. We were here in 16 after the run the table. So I don't really want to compare necessarily, but the guy was really freaking good last year, and now there's crowds and road challenges and everything else, and he's still been really good. How do you view what he has put together this season, and what are the things that have maybe been the biggest challenges, even for a guy as good as him, that he has jumped over this year?
Well, I think if there's one thing that's different this year than any year that I've been here, it would probably just be the adversity that we've had to overcome. He had some himself. Dealing with the COVID deal and the number of people that we've lost in games because of that, and then injuries, and the offensive line has never looked, the way it has this year in comparison to the other years I've been here, as far as the number of different lineups that we've had to put out there. So I would just say, what's so impressive is all the adversity that we've had to deal with, and to still be able to go out there and be effective. And I think everyone would say that we've been able to, find a way to continue to get better every single week. And so that part of it has been really impressive.
Rob Domofsky.
Hey, Luke, how you doing?
I'm good, Rob. How about yourself, man?
Okay. I don't mean to be flippant about COVID because it's anything but that, obviously. But the fact that your room has already, experienced it and in theory, could be immune for quite some time now, is that a little bit of a relief knowing that you can kind of move forward with these guys?
Relief's probably maybe not the right term, but I think there is some sense of, lack of, a little bit less stress on you, thinking about those things. But I think I've said this before, I feel really good about what we do on a daily basis. And I know that this thing has just been getting everybody, didn't matter what situation you're in, looks like now. I'd say there's a little bit less stress and worrying about that thought process, and having to dive in where we brought Blake in and all those different scenarios that you have to go through. So that part of it I would say is nice, but there's a lot of other people on our team that are going through that too. So it's been kind of a constant, but it is, it's nice that we are past that in our room rather than the potential of it hitting us here in the future.
Ryan Wood.
Aaron said, yesterday that his future is very much wide open and uncertain, which is really no different than, I guess, where he was mentally a year ago. I'm curious, though, being around him, have you noticed any difference just in his, not just his demeanor, but it's being more at peace maybe with that than he was a year ago?
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way. I'd put it more like, we've emphasized, and he's been the leader of this with our football team, since training camp, of just living in the moment. And I think we're all doing a really good job of doing that and owning the moment, owning our role with it, whatever our role is on this football team. And like I said, he's kind of been the guy that's taken that lead in establishing that back in training camp, and we've been consistent that way all throughout the season. And he's our leader, and he's been kicking butt in that role. And but I think it's living in the moment and enjoying the moment that you have and making the most of it. And I think that's why we're finding a lot of successes, because I think everybody is doing that.
Bill Huber.
Sorry about that. Forgot to take my hand down.
Come on, Bill.
Jason.
Yeah, sorry, Bill. My hand's up because I wanted it to be up still. Hey, Luke, I promise I'm not trying to get rid of you. I know I asked about your alma mater when that job came open, and I get it. You are totally focused on the Vikings and doing the job that you have now. I think there's a few of us on this call that are familiar with guys in the past that we've covered that maybe were a little more focused on their next job and not their current one. So I'm not disrespecting you when I ask this. But there are some things that could be moving pieces around here, right? You're aware of that, and there could be some changes. When you look back on the kid that came in here when you first got the job, you and crazy David Rye, to now, how much growth have you had as a coach, and just how much more growth do you think is in front of you if some greater opportunities come your way?
Oh, no, I mean, the growth is – I mean, I've been very fortunate to learn from so many great coaches and then learn from great players as well. Yeah, my time here has been, second to none. And so I'm very appreciative of all the people that I've got to work with here in this building. And then, the opportunity to step back into the college game for a year really opened my eyes to that and the type of player that's coming up into the NFL, those young guys. So I've had a really good experience. I mean, on top of living in this community too, all that is just it's been a tremendous experience for me. As far as the future growth, yes, I mean, always going to continue to grow, and I've been fortunate to be with Matt and Hack every day and continue to learn from those guys. And yes, we've had a lot of success, so our guys deserve those opportunities, and hopefully whatever happens in the end, I'll be a part of that. But like you said, I think if you just keep dominating your role and the role that you're in now, I think all that stuff will take care of itself.